always the audience with action items, right, of things to do, right? When we talk about the microbiota, these days we can find information about it, and now we're talking about prebiotics and probiotics, and we're talking about, you know, gut health and how, you know, proper gut health can actually affect the hormonal balance because of how it triggers, you know, different parts of the brain to be able to regulate some of the important hormones like oxytocin, serotonin, and so forth. But I'd like you to touch, you know, quickly on what, in addition to exercise, in addition to sleep, quality and quantity of sleep, what are the things that when it comes to the foods that we eat that we need in order to keep that gut biome healthy?
Wonderful question. Basically, it's a large topic, but at the same time, it's very simple. Real food. Real food.
Real food.
That's it, right? So if you are going to the grocery store and you get any package and you flip it and you're not able to read the ingredient, put it back. Because that is not real food. If you open something here and you can leave it over this table and coming back in 1 week and still you can eat it, don't eat it. That's a lot of chemicals right there that they're gonna hurt your microbiota. So nowadays, it is important to keep up there are foods that they are for you and foods for your microbiota. For instance, a lettuce. Is a lettuce going to do something for you in terms of calories? No, but your microbiota are going to say, thank you very much, Rafael. You are taking care of me. In my opinion, and what I recommend to all my patients, is the Mediterranean diet. Why Mediterranean diet? Mediterranean diet is based on plants, right? But you never seen, when you go to Italy or Egypt or any of those countries, you never seen that when you sit at a restaurant, nobody's going to throw their ranch or Thousand Islands or French, these kind of dressings, right? The only thing that they're going to use is vinegar, olive oil, period. Because olive oil nowadays is like the liquid gold. It is taking care of all your microbiota, it's taking care of your arteries, it's taking care of your brain, et cetera, et cetera. When we talk about sources of protein, I don't have any problem with the meat. The problem is how much are you eating, how you cook it, and what kind of meat. Recently, I made a video in my social media speaking about the meat itself. And when you go to a restaurant and the most tasteful meats are those they are infiltrated by fat, right? Because it's softer, it's more delicious, etc.
Juicy.
It's juicy and it's better, right? It tastes very good. But at the same time, what you're looking at in that particular meat that is infiltrated by fat is exactly what is happening in your own body. You are creating yourself in a sarcopenic obesity. For the audience, sarcopenia means losing muscle. So if you have a proportion that is more fat than muscle, that still is sarcopenia. You're losing muscle even though you look bigger. So in those scenarios, when you are choosing the type of protein that you're going to eat, I recommend any protein that is lean, of course, and in terms of the red meats, and ideally not to have any direct flame with the tissue, with the meat. Why? Because you are creating burns in that tissue, you are eating dead tissue, and then those genes, they're going to talk to your microbiota, you are destroying your microbiota, those genes are going to talk to your genes, and then you're promoting cancers. Fish. Everywhere in the world, we are able to get fish. But now, unfortunately, there is a big issue going on, which is the mercurium, and as well as the microplastics. Time is going to tell us. Nowadays, we've been able to identify microplastics even in myocardial infarctions. How plastics go into the arteries, that's a wonderful question. Likely we are exposed to all those molecules every time when people, they put it on in the microwave, or when people, they are cooking, even with utensils, that they are just releasing small amounts of plastics. And if you pay attention, whenever you go to the grocery store, everything is packed in plastics. To what extent our food is getting contaminated by that? So I'm not quite sure. It's just a hypothesis that I have in my mind thinking about that. In terms of the diet also, it's very important for you to get fermented foods. It's a key factor for you to take care of your bacteria. Kimchi, kombucha, chucrut, Greek yogurt, plain, of course, right?
Without the sugar, yeah.
No, sugar shouldn't be there. All these type of foods, they create bacteria for you right there from the outside, and then you are just getting the gift from life, from the evolution, to get into your intestines for you to improve your health by all means. In terms of I just mentioned something that is very important, plain. And let's talk about it a little bit about sugars. When you listen to people out there, they mention like sugar feeds cancer. Well, in a way, but not exactly. So what happens when you have extra sugars running in your system? Not only you are just changing populations of bacteria in your intestine, but imagine like we are within the intestine. We are within our own intestines. And behind this wall, which is the place where the absorption happens, behind there, they are the boot camps where the immune system trains. They are called Peyer plaques. 90% of our immune system resides right there, behind this wall. As we are bacteria, we talk to each other because we have genes. And that's the beginning of the epigenetic changes. If you are eating the right way, at a certain point, every single food that you are eating was alive. Make sense? Mm-hmm. If you are eating right food. It was a plant, it was an animal. There is nothing else that we eat, right? Once you have sugar coming in here, these bacteria, they get all over the place, and the immune system right there behind this wall is creating an alert. Another example, and this hurts me when I see friends of mine giving cereal or juices to children in the morning. It's exactly like creating a huge emergency system just for that kid early in the morning, and you think that you're doing good because you are just giving juice to the child because it's natural. Nothing more wrong than that. Juices are fructose and are a lot of different sugars that they are just going to create spikes of insulin. When you have a huge spike of insulin, it's an emergency system that is putting right there in alert. The immune system right here is going to be all over the place, and then they are going to start looking kind of like, where? What is the problem? Where should I go? And then when we go back a little bit into the three only options that we have in our cells, either division, senescence, or bad division, which is cancer. So the immune system is not going to be able to recognize where the problem is, and that's what cancer happens. So yes, sugar, does it feed cancer? Not exactly, but makes the situation bad in terms of the inflammation not being able, a chronic inflammatory problem not being able to recognize where the cancer happens? Yes. So that's very important. So in other words, or to summarize that particular topic, for you to take care of your microbiota, real food, that's it. It's simple, right? Real food and fermented foods. Try to stay away of the sugars, especially refined sugars. And that's simple in a way, but I mean, it can be more complicated than that, but just for the sake of the time, so it's a good way to define it.